Thinking of this, Yun Chuzhou nodded and said, "No worries, let's go." Yun Chuzhou followed Ji Hua to the entrance of the Saintly Virgin Palace. Zheng Mama was waiting at the entrance of the Saintly Virgin Palace. Yun Chuzhou smiled and said, "Zheng Mama, long time no see." "Greetings, Miss Chu Chu. Please follow me." Zheng Mama said respectfully. Yun Chuzhou cursed in her heart. This Zheng Mama was really obedient. She was very good at showing off. She didn't believe that Yun Chuzhou didn't know that Yun Chuzhou was just a puppet. Yun Chuzhou followed Zheng Mama to a courtyard. When they entered the courtyard, there was indeed a middle-aged woman waiting for them. When she saw Yun Chuzhou, she bowed in fear and trepidation. Yun Chuzhou was used to being pretentious. She mimicked her beautiful mother and said coldly, "No need for formalities." The middle-aged woman was indeed shocked. She felt that this successor of Sheng Envi was really very honorable. The aura she exuded was really not to be underestimated. The middle-aged woman was afraid that the clothes she made would not fit. She measured them several times before indicating that she had finished measuring them. Zheng Mama waved her hand, and a maid brought the middle-aged woman out. Yun Chuzhou knew that the main event was coming. "Miss Chu Chu, you are smart. I believe that you can see through my attitude toward you," Zheng Mama said in a reserved manner. "I naturally know how Zheng Mama has nurtured me." "Thank you, Zheng Mama." Yun Chuzhou was good at talking, so she tried to block her words. "Since Miss Chu Chu is so sensible, I will not hide it anymore. Vice Palace Master Lu thought highly of you and thought that you would stand out, so he asked me to take care of you. Sure enough, you are talented and intelligent, and you have been favored by the spirit of the netherworld to become the successor of Sheng Envi." Zheng Mama said. She did not continue. "Zheng Mama, I did not expect that an orphan like me could actually receive the care of Vice Palace Master Lu. I am so touched. If there is a chance, I will definitely repay Vice Palace Master Lu properly." Yun Chuzhou showed a grateful expression. That expression was so sincere that even she almost believed it. Zheng Mama was very satisfied with Yun Chuzhou's ability. She nodded slightly. "This old servant will pass on Miss Chuchu's words to Vice Palace Master Lu. Vice Palace Master Lu also asked this old servant to pass on a message to you. The Saintess is not willing to give up her position. The only person who can help you is Vice Palace Master Lu." Yun Chuzhou's eyes reddened. She said with some grievance, "Zheng Mama, I know even if you didn't tell me. The Saintess arranged such a test in the 4th round. She clearly wanted to eliminate me, but she didn't expect the spirit of the netherworld to appear. That's why I was lucky enough to win. She definitely won't tolerate me. Zheng Mama, I'm really scared," said Sheng Envi. "The Saintess won't find a reason to kill me, will she? Miss Chuzhou, have you forgotten? You still have Vice Palace Master Lu behind you. You just need to learn from the Saintess diligently. The rest of the matters will naturally be handled by Vice Palace Master Lu." Zheng Mama saw that Yun Chuzhou was so worried and timid, she couldn't help but sneer in her heart. Such a person was suitable to be a puppet. At first, she was worried that Sheng Envi would become the successor of the Saintess, but she didn't expect that Sheng Envi was just a little girl who hadn't seen the world. Yun Chuzhou smiled. "That's great. Zheng Mama, you must help me thank Vice Palace Master Lu. I will definitely listen to Vice Palace Master Liu's arrangements in the future. He asked me to go east, so I will never go west. He asked me to drive the dogs, so I will never drive the chickens." This chapter is a preview. If you want to see a faster and more up-to-date chapter, please visit for more content. Zheng Mama was very satisfied when she heard Yun Chuzhou's words. However, she did not know that Yun Chuzhou added in her heart, "If you want me to go east, I will definitely not go west. I can go south and north. If you want me to chase dogs, I will definitely not chase chickens. But I can chase pigs and ducks." Miss Chu Chu is indeed very smart. This old servant will report your words to Vice Palace Master Lu truthfully. Miss Chu Chu, you can put aside other things. You have to find a way to learn the chant of the Saintess to summon the Netherworld Shrine and enter the forbidden area, Xing Envy said. Yun Chuzhou sneered in her heart. This was probably the reason why that old bastard, Vice Palace Master Lu, did not kill the Bowtie's mother. Did he want to use her? Let me give you a Spice by Trap gift pack. Yun Chuzhou frowned. Zheng Mama, you also know that the Saintess doesn't like me very much. I'm afraid she won't teach me. I wonder if Vice Palace Master Lu has any good ideas. Zheng Mama's face darkened. Miss Chu Chu, Vice Palace Master Lu has many things to attend to every day. How can he have the energy to think about such trivial matters? You have to rely on yourself for everything. If you can't achieve some results within a month, it won't be difficult for the successor of the Saintess to be replaced by someone else, said Xing Envy. Zheng Mama, I will definitely work hard. Yun Chuzhou revealed a perturbed expression and sneered in her heart. After playing the emotional card, she started to threaten me. Then I will cooperate with you. Otherwise, how would you feel a sense of accomplishment? Zheng Mama saw Yun Chuzhou like this and nodded with satisfaction. That's good. I will send you back to the Saintess Palace. Zheng Mama, if I want to contact you, how can I find you? Take this voice transmission talisman. If you have anything, just contact me directly. Zheng Mama passed a voice transmission talisman to Yun Chuzhou. Yun Chuzhou kept the voice transmission talisman and said carefully, Zheng Mama, please put in a few good words for me in front of Vice Palace Master Lu. I will definitely think of a way to get the mnemonic formula as soon as possible. Miss Chuzhou, don't worry. I will definitely report to Vice Palace Master Lu truthfully. Zheng Mama couldn't help but feel a little proud when she saw Yun Chuzhou's slightly fawning tone. After Zheng Mama sent Yun Chuzhou to the Saintly Virgin Palace, she immediately came to see Vice Palace Master Lu. What did that Lin Chu say? Reporting to Vice Palace Master Lu, that Lin Chu was very obedient. I just gave her a little bit of a beating and she was on the right track. However, she didn't seem to have any plans in her heart. She asked if you had any way to get the Saintly Virgin to teach her the mnemonic formula. After she was slightly intimidated by me, she honestly said that she would go back and think of a way. Zheng Mama told the story roughly. Vice Palace Master Lu nodded. She is just an orphan girl with no background. Now that she has reached the sky in one step, she is naturally afraid of being beaten back to her original state. You are right. That Lin Chu is always trying to please this old servant. It can be seen that she is very afraid of being beaten into the dust again. She will definitely do her best to get the mnemonic chant. Yes, if there is any movement, report to me immediately. Yes. On the other side, Yun Chuzhou had just returned to the dormitory when she saw Yi Mama waiting in the courtyard with a cold face. When she saw Yun Chuzhou come in, she said coldly, Miss Chuzhou, the Xing Envy has summoned you. Come with me. Yun Chuzhou cursed in her heart. Has the beautiful mother thought of a way to deal with me? Yun Chuzhou followed Yi Mama to the main hall of the Xing Envy. The Xing Envy sat on the main seat, still wearing a veil. Greetings, Xing Envy. Yun Chuzhou slightly bent her knees and bowed. Normally, Xing Envy should have said no, and Yun Chuzhou could have stood up. Unexpectedly, Xing Envy didn't say anything, as if she didn't see or hear anything. If an ordinary girl were to encounter such a situation, she would definitely feel embarrassed. She could only maintain her bow posture and wait for the Saintess to let her stand up. However, the Saintess was not an ordinary person. However, Yun Chuzhou was never an ordinary person. She blinked her eyes and said with a smile, Thank you, Saintess, for giving me a seat. After saying that, Yun Chuzhou directly sat on the chair next to Xing Envy and looked at the Saintess as if nothing had happened. Xing Envy's face was stiff. Apparently, she had never met such a thick-skinned person. She was stunned for a moment. Seeing this, Mama shouted angrily, "Miss Chujio, Xing Nv didn't ask you to stand up. Not only did you stand up, but you also sat down. What crime should you commit?" Yun Chujio looked at Mama doubtfully. "Didn't Xing Nv say that there would be no gift of a seat? Did I hear wrong? Xing Nv is such a kind person, why would he make me kneel for so long?" Mama, you are slandering Xing Nv's image by saying that." Mama choked and didn't know what to say. The saintess coughed and said, "Lin Chujio, I heard that you just left the saintess palace. What's the matter? Who did you see?" Reporting to the saintess, "The people from Xing Nv came to measure me. They said they wanted to make a few sets of palace clothes," Yun Chujio said calmly. "Oh. It's just a measure. You haven't seen anyone else?" The saintess asked with slight sarcasm. "And that Jing Mama, she was the one who led me to see the people from the brocade garden." "Oh. What did she say to you?" "She said a lot of things. Things like making me learn from you, Xing Nv, and things like not making Xing Nv angry." Yun Chujio said with a smile. Xing Nv knew that Yun Chujio was talking nonsense, but seeing that Yun Chujio did not hold back and did not say anything, she did not ask further. She changed the topic. "Lin Chujio, I heard that you are an orphan girl." Yun Chujio's eyes reddened, tears fell from her eyes. "Yes, I am an orphan. It is because I do not have parents that I am bullied all day long. I am called a good-for-nothing. I am called a wild child without parents. Woo, I am really miserable. Father, mother. Why did you leave me alone?" The more Yun Chujio spoke, the sadder she became. The saintess thought of her adopted daughter whom she had not seen for many years, and her eyes could not help but redden. She had originally planned to make things difficult for Yun Chujio, but now she was not in the mood. She waved her hand and said, "I still have something to do. You can go back first." Yun Chujio saw the red rims of the saintess' eyes. For a moment, she wanted to explain the truth, but she held it back. If she could not bear it, she would mess up the big plan. Now was not the right time, so she still could not say it. Yun Chujio walked out of the main hall of the saintess' palace and hopped toward the dormitory. When she walked to a bush, Yun Chujio blinked her eyes. Suddenly, she shouted at the bush, "The people you are hiding, come out or I will set fire to them." 5 people walked out of the bush. Yun Chujio saw them and smiled. She waved at them warmly, "Yu Chi. Why did you come to the Saintly Virgin Palace?" The guards were speechless. They had hidden themselves well, but why did Lin Chujio find them? Yu Chi and the others saw Yun Chujio greeting them so warmly, so they had no choice but to reply, "Greetings, Miss Chujio." Yun Chujio asked with a smile, "You were sent to the Saintly Virgin Palace as secret guards?" Yu Chi and the others nodded, and Yu Chi asked, "Miss Chujio, how did you discover us? Our hiding place is very secretive." Yun Chujio curled her lips and pointed at the sun in the sky. "You guys hid well, but your shadows have been exposed." Yu Chi and the others were very ashamed. As secret guards, they had made such a low-level mistake. If they were in a dangerous situation, this low-level mistake would have killed them all. "You will be on duty in the Saintly Virgin Palace from now on. Other than you, the rest will also be in the Saintly Virgin Palace?" Yun Chujio asked. "There are 20 people on duty in the Saintly Virgin Palace. The rest will be on duty in other places in the Netherworld Palace." Yu Chi did not hide anything. Yun Chujio's heart moved, she smiled and said, "It's great that you are on duty in the Saintly Virgin Palace. From now on, let's play hide and seek. I find your hiding place every day when I have nothing to do. If I find it before 5 o'clock every day, you will lose 100 nether stones to me. If I don't find you, I will lose 100 nether stones to you. What do you think?" Yu Qi and the others were dumbfounded. Was this Lin Chuchu crazy? Who would play hide-and-seek with you? Besides, you are the successor of the Saintly Virgin Palace. Why don't you learn from the Saintly Virgin Palace? Why don't you play hide-and-seek with us, Xing. What? Are you afraid? I didn't expect that the guards of the Hall of the Netherworld wouldn't dare to accept the challenge. How disappointing. Yun Chujio curled her lips and said. A scholar could be killed but not humiliated. Hearing Yun Chujio's words, the guards were also motivated to win. They looked at each other and said, Miss Chujio, we will accept the challenge. That's right. I'm not bragging. I'm an expert at playing hide-and-seek. Even if you hide in the crevice, I can still find you. You guys continue to hide. I'm leaving. See you tomorrow. Yun Chujio said and jumped away. Yu Qi and the others looked at Yun Chujio's back. They felt that their brains must have been kicked by a donkey just now to agree to such a ridiculous bet. However, they felt that they had been careless this time. Yun Chujio would not be able to discover them next time. The next day, Yun Chujio finished her breakfast and walked out of the courtyard. Ji Hua and Ji Qin quickly caught up with her. Miss Chujio, where are you going? I'm just walking around. The saintess didn't forbid me from leaving the courtyard, right? Yun Chujio said faintly. Xing Envy and Xing Envy were both stunned. When Ji Hua and Ji Qin saw that Yun Chujio's face was gloomy, they could not help but shrink back. No. Since you don't, do I have to report to you where I go? Just look after the courtyard. You don't have to worry about my business. Yun Chujio said and left happily. It took Ji Hua and Ji Qin quite a while to come back to their senses. They looked at each other. This Lin Chuchia's face is even scarier than Xing Envy's. I don't even dare to speak. Yeah, I'm also quite scared. We're just little maids. We can't afford to offend anyone. Anyway, it's not our fault that she went out by herself. Let's just guard the courtyard. Yun Chujio jumped out of the courtyard and began to stroll leisurely. Then, the secret guards were in trouble. Whether they were hiding behind the rockery, hiding in the bushes, hiding behind the walls, or lying on the roof, they were all caught by Yun Chujio. Those secret guards did not know about the bet between Yun Chujio, Yu Qi, and the others. They were on the verge of breaking down. Was this Lin Chujio's brain damaged? What did we do to provoke you while we were on duty? If you were to catch us all out, wouldn't that be a direct slap to our faces? If you were like this, would we still be able to have fun in the future? Every time Yun Chujio found a group of hidden guards, she would say with a smile, I'm really sorry. I just took a casual glance and found you guys. I thought you were bad people. Since you're on the same side, you can continue to hide. I'm leaving. Those hidden guards could only admit their bad luck and find a hidden place to hide again. However, once or twice was a coincidence. Why did you come to find us every day? Later on, these secret guards were also enraged. They thought of ways to find a hidden place to avoid being found by Yun Chujio. However, no matter how hidden they were, Yun Chujio would find them. Yu Qi and the others could not help but feel lucky. Fortunately, they only needed to lose 100 netherworld stones. If the stakes were high, they would lose everything. The saintess did not know what she was planning. Ever since she summoned Xing Envy, she had not summoned Yun Chujio. Yun Chujio was mindless and was busy playing hide-and-seek every day. She did not take the initiative to ask to see Xing Envy. On the other side, Vice Palace Master Lu was a little impatient. On this day, Yun Chujio was busy playing with the secret guards. Ji Hua came over and said, Miss Chujio, Jing Mama said that there seemed to be a mistake in the measurements taken by the Mian Xiao Xian last time. She asked you to measure it again. Alright, then I'll measure it again. Yun Chujio sneered in her heart. I'm afraid that the old bastard, Vice Palace Master Lu, can't sit still anymore. This is good. The more impatient he is, the higher the chance of my success. Yun Chujiu hopped out of the Saintly Virgin Palace. Zheng Mama was waiting at the exit of the Saintly Virgin Palace. Her expression was very ugly. Yun Chujiu said with a smile, "Zheng Mama, I haven't seen you for a few days. You look even better." Zheng Mama snorted coldly and said in a bad mood, "Miss Chu Chu really knows how to talk. Please follow this old servant." Yun Chujiu followed Zheng Mama to the courtyard from last time. Sure enough, the middle-aged woman from the splendid pavilion was inside. She said something about carelessness, and wrong measurements. After measuring Yun Chujiu's measurements again, she was brought out by the maid. "Miss Chu Chu, Vice Palace Master Lu has invited you." There was a hint of schadenfreude in Granny Zheng's tone. This Lin Chu Chu was actually fooling around with those secret guards every day. She didn't do anything important at all. She was just waiting for Vice Palace Master Lu to get angry. Yun Chujiu followed Granny Zheng into the study room in the courtyard. Vice Palace Master Lu sat behind the desk with a solemn expression. "Greetings, Vice Palace Master Lu," Yun Chujiu said with a bow. Vice Palace Master Lu snorted. "Lin Chu Chu, what have you been doing these days?" Reporting to Vice Palace Master Lu, "I've been thinking about how to get the mnemonic formula out these days," Yun Chujiu said respectfully. Vice Palace Master Lu slapped the desk. "Do you think I don't know what you've been doing? Xing Nv, you didn't go to the Saintess to learn the mnemonic chant these days. Instead, you hung out with those secret guards every day. This is outrageous. I can make you the successor of the Saintess, so I can also cripple you. Vice Palace Master Lu, I have a favor to report. I hope you can understand." "Humph. I want to hear what you have to say." "Say it," Vice Palace Master Lu said with a gloomy face. "Vice Palace Master Lu, I play with those secret guards every day just to confuse the Saintess. I want her to think that I am a playful little girl. Only then can I proceed to the next step. I have a brilliant idea." Yun Chujiu said proudly. Vice Palace Master Lu frowned. "What good idea do you have?" "This idea of mine is called falling into a trap. Vice Palace Master Lu, according to my observation, after the Saintess heard about my background, her eyes turned red. Maybe she has some secrets. I'll start from this point and find a breakthrough," Xing Nv said. "However, this alone won't do. I'll tell her that I'm pretending to listen to your orders, Vice Palace Master Lu. In fact, my heart is with her. As long as you cooperate with me and complete one or two unimportant tasks, she will definitely trust me. After gaining her trust, I can think of a way to get the mnemonic formula. After I get the mnemonic formula, I will fall out with her. What do you think of this idea of mine? This is something that I have thought of for a few days," Yun Chujiu said proudly. Vice Palace Master Lu pondered for a moment, a smile appeared on his face. "Miss Chu Chu is indeed extremely intelligent. It is not in vain for me to have such high hopes for you. This idea of yours is very good. Go ahead and do it. If you need my cooperation, you only need to send a message to Zheng Mama. Vice Palace Master Lu, although you are broad-minded and do not doubt the people you use, in order to prevent you from having any misgivings, I will swear an inner demon oath. I, Lin Chu Chu, swear to the heavens that I will be loyal to Vice Palace Master Lu. If I violate this oath, I will be struck by lightning and die a horrible death," Yun Chujiu said solemnly. Vice Palace Master Lu had a trace of doubt in his heart, but now it was completely dispelled. The smile on his old face also became more sincere. "Miss Chu Chu, then I'll wait for your good news. After I get my hands on the mnemonic chant, I'll help you become the Saintess once and for all." "Thank you, Vice Palace Master Lu. I'll definitely gain the trust of the Saintess as soon as possible." Please wait for the good news. The smile on Yun Chujia's face was also very sincere. After the conversation between the two ended happily, Jing Mama asked the maid to send Yun Chujio back to the Saintess Palace. Vice Palace Master Lu, that Lin Chu won't play any tricks, right? Jing Mama was a little doubtful. She had a feeling that something was not right. Lin Chu is just an orphan girl. She won't be able to stir up any trouble. Moreover, she has already made an oath in her heart. She doesn't dare to do anything to let me down. Her method is very good. She will definitely be able to get the incantation. Moreover, I am also looking forward to the expression on that slut's face when she finds out that she has been deceived. Vice Palace Master Liu's face revealed a sinister sneer. Hearing Vice Palace Master Liu's words, Jing Mama also felt that it was very reasonable. She put down the doubt in her heart and prepared to see Yun Chujia's next move. After Yun Chujio entered the Saintly Virgin Palace, she didn't go back to the dormitory. Instead, she went straight to the main hall of the Saintly Virgin Palace. At the entrance of the main hall, the maid on duty saw Yun Chujio and bowed, "Miss Chujio, no one is allowed to enter the main hall. Please leave. You also said that no one is allowed to enter. I'm not an idle person. I'm a busy person. Quickly go in and inform the Saintly Virgin that Lin Chujio is asking to see the Saintly Virgin. She has something important to tell her." Xing Envy said that two maids on duty looked at each other. One of the maids said, "Miss Chu, please wait for a moment. This servant will go in and report to Xing Envy." A moment later, the maid walked out. "Miss Chu, Xing Envy is not feeling well today. You should come back another day." Yun Chujio blinked her eyes. This beautiful mother of mine is really difficult to deal with. This move of hers to avoid meeting her is to adapt to all kinds of changes. She can't even see her own person. Even if she has some tricks up her sleeve, she can't do it. This chapter is a preview. If you want to see a faster and more up-to-date chapter, please visit for more content. Yun Chujio blinked her eyes, and then her eyes turned red, tears fell from her eyes. What? Xing Envy is not feeling well. Oh my God. How could such a thing happen? Xing Envy is sick, and I have to go in to visit her. Otherwise, I won't be able to eat well and sleep. The maid obviously did not expect Yun Chujio to say so, and quickly said, "I will pass on Miss Chujia's thoughts to Xing Envy. But Xing Envy needs to rest, so please go back, Miss Chujio." Wow, this maid's reaction is pretty good. Unfortunately, you met me, Yun Chujio. What are you talking about? Do you think I will make a big fuss when I go in? Can't I just visit you? Is it Xing Envy who doesn't want to see me, or you, a slave, deliberately making things difficult for me? Don't tell me you want something from me. Yun Chujio said angrily. The maid was so scared that she kneeled on the ground. "Miss Chu, I didn't mean that. Xing Envy really needs to rest and not be disturbed." Humph. Nice. I think you two are trying to get something out of me. Tell me, how much do you want to pay me to see Xing Envy? I've heard that the King of Hell is easy to deal with, but I don't know what that means. Now I finally understand. No wonder the Saintess didn't summon me these days. Maybe she wanted you to inform me, and then you all hid it. Xing Envy thought. Otherwise, how could such a kind person like the Saintess neglect me, the successor? Alright, since I can't see the Saintess, then I'll go see Vice Palace Master Lu. I believe he'll be very interested in you two brats. Xing Envy said that two handmaidensheds were covered in cold sweat, and they were even trembling. One of the handmaidens hurriedly said, "Miss Chu, this servant will go in and report. Please wait a moment." After saying that, the handmaidens ran inside as if they were running for their lives. In the main hall, the Saintess and Mama were talking. That Lin Chu has been fooling around with those secret guards all day recently. I think she's also a playful person. She was called out today. She must have been reprimanded by Lu Huanhua before she came to my place. Xing Nv, the young master is indeed very resourceful. This move of avoiding her is something that Lin Chuchu can't do anything about. No matter how many evil ideas she has, she won't be able to use it. Xing Nv thought of her husband and her eyes revealed a touch of tenderness. Not bad, this move of avoiding her is indeed not bad. That Lin Chuchu doesn't seem to be a resilient person. She will retreat after a few times. As the two of them were talking, a maid ran in panic. Xing Nv, help. Mama angrily rebuked, what's wrong with panicking? What happened? The maid repeated what Yun Chuzhou said, then knelt down and said, Xing Nv, if Miss Chuchu really went to find Vice Palace Master Lu, our lives will be lost. Please save us. Xing Nv slammed her palm on the table, this Lin Chuchu is really detestable. She is simply a scoundrel. The grand successor of Xing Nv actually threatened two maids. Xing Nv, why don't you let her in and just send her away with a few words? Otherwise, it would be easy to get something on her. Mama saw that the maid was scared out of her wits, so she tried to persuade her. Well, in that case, let Lin Chuchu come in. Xing Nv said through gritted teeth. This chapter is a preview. If you want to see a faster and more up-to-date chapter, please visit for more content. Miss Chuzhou, the Xing Nv wants you to go in. The maid rushed to the door of the main hall and panted. Yun Chuzhou said with a smile, why are you sweating all over? Are you scared by me? You guys are really honest. I'm just playing with you. After saying that, Yun Chuzhou hopped into the main hall. The two maids felt as if their hearts were going crazy. Are you playing with us? Is there such a joke? Are you trying to scare us to death? As soon as Yun Chuzhou entered the main hall, she said anxiously, Xing Nv, are you alright? I heard that you are not feeling well. What is it that you are feeling unwell from? Is it a headache or a fever? Have you seen the doctor? Have you taken any medicine? When did you start feeling unwell? What kind of symptoms do you have? Xing Nv's face stiffened. I'm much better now. Why did you ask to see me? If there's nothing else, you can leave now. Xing Nv, you don't know. When I heard that you were unwell, my heart felt like it was being cut by a knife. You also know that I'm an orphan. I've always envied those children who have a mother who dotes on them. For some reason, although I've never seen your appearance, I still feel very close to you. If I didn't know that you couldn't possibly be my mother, I really would have thought that my mother had returned. Woo woo, little cabbage, yellow soil, 2 or 3 years old, no mother, Yun Chuzhou started singing miserably, wiping her tears as she sang. Xing Nv's heart was already thinking about her adopted daughter whom she had not seen for many years. How could she bear this? She also started crying. Yun Chuzhou stole a few glances at Xing Nv. She thought to herself, this cheap adoptive mother seems to really love her. It was not in vain for her to go into the tiger's den to save her. Mama saw that Xing Nv was also crying, and Yun Chuzhou was also crying. She almost went numb. What was going on? Xing Nv, didn't you say that you would send Yun Chuzhou away with just a few words? Why are you crying with me? After a while, Xing Nv took out a handkerchief to wipe her tears. She returned to her usual cold look. Lin Chuzhou, thank you for your concern for me. Since you've seen that I'm safe and sound, you can go back. I want to go back and rest. Yun Chuzhou suddenly raised her voice. Xing Nv. Although I know that there are some things that I shouldn't say, I still want to say them for the sake of your health. You've been locked up in this room all day, how can you be healthy and healthy? The weather outside is so good, and the sun is so bright. You should go out for a walk. Anyway, I have nothing to do. I'll accompany you to the garden for a walk. After saying that, Yun Chuzhou directly jumped to the side of the Xing Nv and grabbed the Xing Nv's arm to pull her out. Even in her dreams, the Xing Nv never thought that Yun Chuzhou would be so bold as to directly pull her out. Mama was about to go up and pull Yun Chuzhou away. Unexpectedly, Yun Chuzhou yelled at Mama, Mama. Don't forget your identity. I, Lin Chuchu, am the successor of the Xing Nv. The Xing Nv is my master and my mother. What's wrong with me accompanying my master and my mother for a stroll in the garden? Get lost. Mama did not dare to take another step forward. Yun Chuzhou was right. Yun Chuzhou was the master and Mama was the slave. If she really tried to drag Yun Chuzhou away, she would be offending her superior. The saintess snorted coldly and was about to push Yun Chuzhou away. Xing Nv. Unexpectedly, Yun Chuzhou said with a cheeky smile, Saintess, if you push me away, I will lie on the ground and not get up. Do you think Vice Palace Master Lu will say that you are too narrow-minded to accept me? When the time comes, he might directly use this excuse to cripple you. This chapter is a preview. If you want to see a faster and more up-to-date chapter, please visit for more content. Good. Very good. Lin Chuchu, I have underestimated you. I will accompany you to admire the flowers and see what tricks you are playing. Xing Nv had never seen such a scoundrel before. At that moment, there was nothing she could do except to say some harsh words. She could only let Yun Chuzhou walk out of the main hall of the Saintly Virgin Palace while holding her arm. When the two maids on duty at the door saw Yun Chuzhou and the saintess walk out with their arms in hand, they were so shocked that their mouths could not close. Didn't they say that the saintess did not like this Lin Chuchu? Why did the two of them walk out with their arms in hand? Moreover, the smile on Lin Chuchu's face was too bright. Could it be that the saintess had changed her attitude towards Xing Nv? Since that was the case, they had better go in and inform Xing Nv as soon as possible if Lin Chuchu came again in the future. Otherwise, the saintess might blame them. If the two handmaidens saw the angry look under Xing Nv's veil, they would not think so. However, Xing Nv only showed her eyes, so they had this wonderful misunderstanding. Yun Chuzhou walked with Xing Nv. Whether it was the handmaidens or the guards hidden in the dark, they were all dumbfounded. Damn it, when did Lin Chuzhou and Xing Nv become so close? Yun Chuzhou's mouth was not idle. Saintess, do you feel much better after coming out for a walk? As the saying goes, happiness is a day, and unhappiness is also a day. Why don't you live a day happily? You have to be happy. Also, people should always bask in the sun, or else their bodies will get worse. Especially people with old illnesses. If they always stay in the room, their illness will definitely worsen. Xing Nv suddenly stopped in her tracks and stared at Yun Chuzhou with a malicious gaze. Lin Chuzhou, no matter what your motive is, if you set your eyes on him, I won't forgive you. Yun Chuzhou giggled. Xing Nv, what are you talking about? I don't understand. Hurry up, we're almost at the garden, let's go admire the flowers. Mama, remember to tell the maids to prepare pastries, tea, and spirit fruits, Xing Nv wants to eat. Mama snorted in her heart, Xing Nv wants to eat? You want to eat, right? She originally thought that this Lin Chuzhou was a gluttonous and playful little girl, but she didn't expect that she was actually a little scoundrel. Seeing that Yun Chuzhou didn't answer her question, Xing Nv naturally didn't say anything more. Although many people knew of Yun Zanking's existence, it was still inappropriate to mention it openly. Yun Chuzhou accompanied Xing Nv to admire the flowers for a while, then said with a smile, Xing Nv, you must be tired, right? Let's go to the gazebo to rest for a while. Xing Nv snorted and agreed. At first, she was very angry, but later she also became numb. It was true that all these years, she had been afraid all day and rarely had the leisure to admire the flowers. After walking for a while, she seemed to feel much more relaxed. Yun Chuzhou and Xing Envy came to the pavilion. There were pastries, spiritual fruits, and tea on the stone table. Yun Chuzhou poured Xing Envy a cup of tea, poured herself a cup, and then drank it in one gulp. "It's really good tea," Yun Chuzhou said with a look of enjoyment. Xing Envy snorted, "It's just a cow chewing peonies." "Xing Envy, you are too knowledgeable." This description was too appropriate. "My admiration for you is like a torrential river. I have never met a woman as beautiful and talented as you. You are my idol." Yun Chuzhou blinked her starry eyes and said. Xing Envy was stunned. She had never heard such undisguised flattery in her entire life. She could not tell what she was feeling at the moment. This chapter is a preview. If you want to see a faster and more up-to-date chapter, please visit for more content. Xing Envy, please have some tea. I want to see what tea tasting is. Alas, as a motherless child, no one taught me what tea tasting is. All I know is that I can eat my fill and wear warm clothes. Yun Chujia's eyes were slightly red, she pretended to be strong and said. Seeing this, Xing Envy thought of her poor adopted daughter and couldn't bear to say something sarcastic. She picked up the teacup and started drinking tea. The Xing Envy explained some knowledge about tea to Yun Chuzhou while drinking. Yun Chuzhou asked a few questions from time to time, and the atmosphere between the two of them was very warm. After a while, Yun Chuzhou took the initiative to say, Xing Envy, we have been out for quite a while. You should go back and rest. Why doesn't Mama hurry up and serve the Xing Envy back? You really don't have any eyesight. Mama's heart was like a muttering dog. Did this Lin Chu really think of her as her master? What do you mean she doesn't have any vision at all? It was you who dragged Xing Envy into the garden, okay? You're pretending to be a good person now. Xing Envy only realized then that she had actually chatted with Yun Chuzhou for such a long time. She couldn't help but feel a little annoyed and said coldly, Mama, let's go back. Yun Chuzhou eagerly went forward and held the Xing Envy's arm. Mama is old, and her limbs are not very flexible. Let me send you back. The Xing Envy could not be bothered to argue with her. She thought to herself that she would think of a way to send Yun Chuzhou away when they reached the main hall. Unexpectedly, when they reached the main hall, Yun Chuzhou said with a smile, Xing Envy, I won't go in with you. Have a good rest after you go back. Xing Envy was stunned and subconsciously asked, what are you going to do? Yun Chuzhou showed a surprised expression, Xing Envy, are you reluctant to leave me? I originally wanted to go and play with the secret guards. If you are reluctant to leave me, I won't go. I will accompany you to have a chat. If you want to give me a meal, that's fine too. Xing Envy finally swallowed the word get lost that was about to come out of her mouth. She said coldly, you are thinking too much. I am just asking casually. Yun Chujia's small face immediately revealed a disappointed expression. Oh, since you don't need me to accompany you, then I'll leave. Yun Chuzhou lowered her head and turned her head 3 times before leaving. For some reason, Xing Envy couldn't bear to see her leave, so she steeled her heart and walked into the main hall. Xing Envy went straight to the study room. Yun Zhangqing saw that Xing Envy's eyes were a little red, so he asked with concern, Biyun, what's wrong? Xing Envy sighed. Lin Chu came to see me today. When I saw her, I couldn't help but think of our little Jiu. I felt that this Lin Chu was also a child with a hard life, so I couldn't bear to say anything more. Oh. Didn't I tell you to avoid meeting her? Why did you still meet her? Yun Zhangqing asked in confusion. Xing Envy told him what had happened, then, she said, little Jiu was also a bit of a scoundrel during the competition. But I think this Lin Chu is even more scoundrel than little Jiu. I reckon she'll come back tomorrow. Just thinking about it gives me a headache. Biyun, according to what you said, Lu Huanhua must have been in a hurry to get the mnemonic chant, which forced that Lin Chu to get close to you. The reason she got close to you was to gain your trust and then get the mnemonic chant. So, try not to see her. Even if you see her, try not to talk to her, Yun Zhangqing said after thinking for a while. Okay, I'll do as you say, husband. When Yun Chuzhou saw the saintess enter, she immediately swept away her dejected look and hopped off to look for those secret guards. This fellow had recently become addicted to this kind of picking a fight game. She felt that it was really interesting to see those secret guards look like they had nothing to live for. The incident that happened in the Saintess Palace quickly reached Vice Palace Master Liu's ears. Vice Palace Master Liu was very happy. This Lin Chu was really quite capable. She had actually made progress so quickly. If this continued, he believed that she would soon be able to gain the saintess trust and obtain the mnemonic chant. It was only a matter of time before she would be able to do so. The next day, the saintess waited for a day with slight anxiety in her heart. She was afraid that Yun Chuzhou would play some tricks to pester her again. She did not expect that Yun Chuzhou would not come at all. However, she did not expect that Yun Chuzhou would not come at all. At the same time that the saintess heaved a sigh of relief in her heart, she also felt a faint sense of disappointment. She could not help but shake her head. What was wrong with her? It was probably because of little Jiu that she had some empathy. It was obvious that Lin Chuzhou harbored evil intentions. She could not be muddled. On the third day, Sheng Envi felt that Yun Chuzhou would definitely come. She did not expect that Yun Chuzhou still did not make a move. At noon, Sheng Envi still could not help but ask Mama Yi, what has Lin Chuzhou been busy with these 2 days? Sheng Envi, that Lin Chu has been eating, drinking, and fooling around with those secret guards these 2 days. Mama didn't like Yun Chuzhou to begin with, and now she was even more displeased. Sheng Envi nodded. It seemed that Lin Chu was just on a whim the day before yesterday. It was better this way. If she continued to pester her, she would really have a headache. On the 4th morning, Sheng Envi had just arrived at the main hall when the maid on duty rushed in. Sheng Envi, Lin Chu is outside asking for an audience. Tell her that I'm not feeling well and ask her to. Sheng Envi, I'm here to see you. Are you not feeling well again? Come on, let's go outside. Yun Chuzhou jumped in from outside the hall and said with a smile. Mama shouted angrily, Miss Chuzhou, you can't enter the main hall without Sheng Envi's summons. How dare you barge in? This is too much. Yun Chuzhou blinked her eyes. Barge in? I just swaggered in here. Mama, I won't punish you if your eyesight isn't good enough. Sheng Envi, the weather outside is very good today. Let's go out for a walk. After saying that, Sheng Envi shamelessly went to the side of Sheng Envi and pulled her by the arm. Mama was so angry that she didn't want to do anything, but her identity was still there. She could only look at the saintess, hoping that she could punish Yun Chuzhou. Sheng Envi shook off Yun Chuzhou's arm and said coldly, since you're young and ignorant, I won't pursue you this time. I'm not in the mood to go out today. You can go back. Saintess, you don't want to go out. That's great. I actually don't want to go out either, so I'll stay here and chat with you. Mama, stop pretending to be a wooden stake. Why don't you hurry up and prepare tea and snacks for Sheng Envi and me? Yun Chuzhou said. She took out a small stool from her storage ring and placed it next to Sheng Envi's seat. Then, she looked at Sheng Envi with a smile. The saintess and Mama were both stunned. They felt that they had underestimated Yun Chuzhou's shamelessness. There was no one else who would bring a stool as a guest. Yun Chuzhou took out a handful of melon seeds from her storage ring and stuffed them into the saintess' hands. Saintess, let's not talk while eating. Let me tell you about how I fought my way to the final victory of Sheng Envi. This chapter is a preview. If you want to see a faster and more up-to-date chapter, please visit for more content. Xing Envi was confused by Yun Chujia's shameless behavior. By the time she reacted, Yun Chujio had already stuffed a handful of melon seeds into her hand. As for Yun Chujio, she was already happily munching on melon seeds. Xing Envi, you don't know who came up with the bad idea during the second round of training. They only serve a small amount of food at noon every day. However, with my unparalleled wisdom, not only did I eat my fill, even my roommates followed me. Are you curious about how I did it? Yun Chujio asked with a smile. Xing Envi looked at the scattered melon seeds on the ground with a dumbfounded look and asked subconsciously, how did you do it? Xing Envi, let me tell you, Yun Chujio began to tell her story vividly. At first, Xing Envi was absent-minded, but later, she was attracted by Yun Chujio's story and asked a few questions from time to time. Yun Chujio touched her belly as she spoke, Xing Envi, it's noon now. Can you give me some food? I didn't even have breakfast to see you early in the morning, and now I'm starving to death. Xing Envi's heart softened when she saw Yun Chujio's pitiful look. Mama, get someone to prepare lunch. Mama could only order the maids to prepare lunch. Soon, the food was served. Yun Chujio didn't know what courtesy was. She ate happily and said, Xing Envi, the food here is really good. Xing Envi glanced at her and said, the food I usually give you is the same as mine. How come the food here is so delicious? Xing Envi, you don't know this. The key is not what to eat but who to eat with. If I eat with you, even if it's just plain food, I think it's delicious. Yun Chujio said with a smile. Xing Envi looked at Yun Chujio's eyes and couldn't help but be stunned. For a moment, she felt that this pair of eyes in front of her was exactly the same as the young little Jiu. Xing Envi shook her head. How could this Lin Chu be little Jiu? She must have been thinking too much recently, so she had hallucinations. Yun Chujio picked up a lot of food for Xing Envi with the chopsticks. Xing Envi, you have to eat more. No matter what you do, this body is the first. I always put food first. That's why I went from a little orphan girl to Xing Envi's successor. Xing Envi's eyes twitched. Nonsense. Xing Envi's successor was not a foodie. Although Xing Envi's face was cold, she still ate all the food Yun Chujio picked up. Yun Chujio was secretly happy. This beautiful mother was the kind of person who was cold on the outside but warm on the inside. She was the best at dealing with such a person. After the meal, Yun Chujio held the saint's arm and said, Saint, if you walk 100 steps after the meal, you will live 9,900 years. Let's go for a walk in the garden. The saint was indeed a little stuffed, so she did not shake off Yun Chujio this time. She followed Yun Chujio out of the main hall of the saint's palace. Yun Chujio chirped along the way, as happy as a bird released from a cage. The saint could not help but be infected, and her mood also became happy. Yun Chujio accompanied the saintess to walk around the garden a few times. After sending the saintess back to the main hall, she hopped off Xing Envi. Seeing that Yun Chujio had left, Mama immediately said, Saintess, that Lin Chujio clearly has bad intentions. Aren't you being too lenient with her? Xing Envi sighed. I know I shouldn't get too close to her, but I really can't bear to reject her. Besides, she's just accompanying me to talk and walk around the garden. I know what to say and what not to say. Xing Envi, you're too kind. That Lin Chu is an ingrate. If you can't bear to do it, she'll definitely harm you and young master in the future. Mama advised earnestly. Before Xing Envi could say anything, the door of the main hall was pushed open. Yun Chujio walked in with a smile. Mama, it's not a good habit to speak ill of others behind their backs. Fortunately, the person you met was me. If you met someone cruel and merciless, you would be dead. Mama and Xing Envy were shocked. Why are you back? I came to get my stool. They didn't expect to hear such explosive content. Mama, I didn't offend you, did I? Why do you always target me? Which of your eyes can tell that I look like an ingrate? I see that you look like a big-tailed wolf. Mama's old face turned red. She said with some exasperation, Miss Chu Chu, you know whether you are sincere or pretending. Although I am a servant, if you want to harm our Xing Envy, I will not spare you even if I risk my life. Of course I mean it. How about I play with those secret guards? Since you've said it like this, I'll tell you the truth. Xing Envy, do you think I'm one of Vice Palace Master Liu's men? Yun Chuzhou gritted her teeth, she looked determined. Xing Envy and Mama were stunned. Xing Envy frowned. Since Lin Chu had made it clear, there was nothing to hide, so she said indifferently, aren't you? How can an orphan girl without a background win in the end? Isn't it because of Vice Palace Master Liu's secret instructions? Yun Chuzhou smiled, Xing Envy, it's not impossible for you to say that. Vice Palace Master Liu naturally helped me to get to the end. After all, an orphan girl without a background is the best candidate to be a puppet. The saintess was shocked when she heard Yun Chuzhou say the word puppet. What did this Lin Chuzhou mean? I didn't expect you to be so self-aware. Let's not talk about whether you're a puppet for now. Vice Palace Master Liu must have arranged a mission for you, right? Do you want to get the chant to summon the Netherworld Shrine? Give up on that thought. Even if I die, I won't tell you, Xing Envy said coldly. Xing Envy, you're too smart. You're absolutely right. That old bastard, Vice Palace Master Liu, told me so. Xing Envy staggered and almost fell down. Old bastard? Was this Lin Chu crazy? How dare she insult Vice Palace Master Liu? Lin Chu, what exactly do you mean? Xing Envy asked in confusion. She could not understand the little girl in front of her. Xing Envy, don't you understand what I mean? I'm on your side. That Vice Palace Master Liu is an old bastard. An old bastard. For his own selfish desires, he has repeatedly provoked disputes with the Tianyuan continent and caused the deaths of countless people. Most importantly, he was just a deputy hall master. What right did he have to lock you up? What right did he have to cover the sky with one hand? This was blasphemy against the spirit of the netherworld. Although I, Lin Chuzhou, am not a great hero, but I am also a member of the netherworld continent. How could I possibly help the evil? I pretended to listen to his arrangements. In fact, I wanted to cooperate with you to kill that old bastard. Yun Chuzhou said indignantly. This chapter is a preview. If you want to see a faster and more up-to-date chapter, please visit for more content. Xing Envy was stunned. Even in her dreams, she never thought that Yun Chuzhou would say such a thing. She couldn't react for a moment. Is what you said true? Xing Envy still couldn't believe it. Of course it's true. It's more real than a pearl. Why did I find those secret guards to play with? I just wanted to get familiar with their defenses so that we can do anything to avoid them. Besides, Vice Palace Master Liu will definitely think that I'm playful and won't have any thoughts. That way, he won't suspect me. Yun Chuzhou said with a smile. Xing Envy was even more shocked. She didn't expect this little girl to look for those secret guards to play with her. She actually had a motive. This little girl's thoughts were really too deep. Xing Envy didn't say anything for a long time. Yun Chuzhou didn't urge her either. After all, this was a matter of life and death. It was impossible for her to believe it with just a few words. Lin Chu, although what you said seems reasonable, I still can't believe you, Xing Envy said lightly. Of course, I understand. You can't have the intention to harm others, but you can't be careless. I will do a few beautiful things to make you believe me. Beautiful things? What do you plan to do? Sheng Envy asked in confusion. Yun Chuzhou smiled mysteriously, this is a secret for now, but you have to cooperate with me. You have to pretend to be closer to me in the next few days, so that I can do things easily. Sheng Envy pondered for a moment, okay, I'll give you 5 days. If you don't do your so-called beautiful things, I'll take it as all your lies. No problem. Sheng Envy, just wait and see. I'll definitely do a top-notch beautiful task for you. Yun Chuzhou said confidently. For the next 3 days, Yun Chuzhou would come to Sheng Envy's place for lunch every day. Then, she would accompany Sheng Envy to stroll around the garden, drinking tea and eating snacks. On the 4th day, Yun Chuzhou took out Nanny Zheng's voice transmission talisman and revealed a sly smile. Zheng Mama, I want to see Vice Palace Master Lu. I have something important to report to him. Zheng Mama quickly agreed. Yun Chuzhou thought to herself, spy within spy is quite fun. If it weren't for the fact that Jin Ji's father hadn't given her a straightforward answer, she would have directly introduced herself to her beautiful mother. Now it seemed that she would have to deal with her for a while. Moreover, there was still one more thing that she had to settle first. Sure enough, that afternoon, Zheng Mama found an excuse to call Yun Chuzhou out from the Saintly Virgin Palace. Yun Chuzhou followed Zheng Mama to the courtyard where they had met the last time and saw Vice Palace Master Lu. Vice Palace Master Liu's attitude was very gentle. Miss Chu Chu, I've heard about your recent performance. I didn't expect you to gain the saintess' favor so quickly. What do you want to report to me this time? Sheng Envy asked Vice Palace Master Lu. I've gained the saintess trust according to the original plan, but she's still wary of me. So I have to do a few things to make her trust me completely. Sheng Envy said. However, things that can make her happy will definitely hurt your interests, so I can only ask for your permission. Yun Chuzhou said with some difficulty. What you said makes sense. If you don't have enough sincerity, that slut won't believe you. What do you want to do? As long as it's not a particularly difficult thing to do, I will agree to it. Vice Palace Master Lu agreed very straightforwardly. He hadn't been able to make any progress over the years, and now that he finally saw a glimmer of hope, he naturally wouldn't let go of such a good opportunity. This chapter is a preview. If you want to see a faster and more up-to-date chapter, please visit for more content. If I'm not wrong, you must be one of the people that the saintess thinks she trusts. Tell me who it is, and I'll think of a way to find out who it is. By then, the saintess will have a lot more trust in me, said Sheng Envy. If you do that, you'll lose one of your chess pieces. I wonder if you're willing to part with it. Yun Chuzhou seemed to be in a difficult position. This, Vice Palace Master Lu was indeed a little hesitant. Although most of the people from the Netherworld Palace and the Saintly Virgin Palace were under his control, the Saintly Virgin Palace still had some people from the Saintly Virgin Palace. These people were highly trusted and valued by the Saintly Virgin Palace. As a matter of fact, the Saintly Virgin Palace still had some people from the Saintly Virgin Palace, such as Sheng Envy and Sheng Envy. Vice Palace Master Lu also spent a lot of effort to persuade one of them to surrender. Originally, he intended to let that person find out the mnemonic chant, but unfortunately, Sheng Envy was very cautious. That person had not made any progress. Vice Palace Master Lu told that person to stay put and report the major and minor matters around the saintess at any time. Vice Palace Master Lu would be able to know the movements of the saintess at any time. It was also because of that person's report that Vice Palace Master Lu completely dispelled his suspicion of Yun Chuzhou. That person could be said to be very important. It was a pity to abandon him just like that. Seeing that Vice Palace Master Lu was hesitant, Yun Chuzhou did not urge him. She waited quietly. She was completely confident that Vice Palace Master Lu would agree because he really wanted to get the mnemonic chant. Sure enough, after a moment, Vice Palace Master Lu said, "All right, I'll tell you about that person. Miss Chujio, this is an extremely important chess piece of mine. Now, in order to get you to gain the trust of that bitch, I've given it up. You must not disappoint me. Otherwise, it won't be as simple as abolishing your successor as the Saintess." Yun Chujio naturally knew that Vice Palace Master Lu was threatening her. She said confidently, "Vice Palace Master Lu, don't worry. As long as I find a way to find that person, the Saintess will definitely believe in me. Who knows, I might be able to get other secrets besides the chant to summon the Netherworld Shrine. After all, the Netherworld Shrine has existed for tens of thousands of years." Vice Palace Master Liu's eyes lit up. What Lin Chu said made sense. The Netherworld Shrine might have some big secrets. It would be great if he could find out. Vice Palace Master Lu said with satisfaction, "Miss Chu is indeed very smart. The spy I planted in the Saintly Virgin Palace is..." Yun Chujio looked surprised. "It's her." "Vice Palace Master Lu, how did you do it? You are too amazing. I really didn't expect it. If you hadn't told me, I wouldn't have believed it even if you beat me to death. She is very protective of the Saintess. If it weren't for her interference, I would have gotten close to the Saintess a long time ago," said Xing Envy. Vice Palace Master Lu looked pleased with himself. "This is what makes her so brilliant. If it weren't for this, how could she hide for so many years without being discovered? If it weren't for you gaining the trust of that bitch, I would never have made a move on this chess piece. Vice Palace Master Lu, there's something I don't know if I should say." "Oh. Say it." Vice Palace Master Lu looked at Yun Chujio in confusion. "Vice Palace Master Lu, let me make it clear first. I'm just making irresponsible guesses. Please don't blame me. The reason why that person didn't make any progress for so many years was, firstly, that the Saintess was indeed more cautious. Secondly, that person was probably coveting his current position. After all, even if you get rid of the Sheng Nv, her position in the future would not be better than now. Therefore, she kept delaying. As long as the Sheng Nv did not die, she would be able to maintain the status quo. This was also why she knew that I was your man. Why are you still making things difficult for me?" Yun Chujio said with a cold smile. This chapter is a preview. If you want to see a faster and more up-to-date chapter, please visit for more content. When Vice Palace Master Lu heard Yun Chujio's words, he was stunned at first, then, he smashed the desk with his palm. "What you said makes sense. No wonder there hasn't been any progress for so many years. So that's what she has in mind. If it wasn't for you, Miss Chu, who enlightened me, I would still have been kept in the dark. It's really detestable to the extreme. Vice Palace Master Lu, I'm just guessing. Perhaps I've wronged her. You should interrogate her yourself after I've brought her out." Yun Chujio said hesitantly. Vice Palace Master Lu snorted coldly. "What you said is most likely true. Otherwise, there wouldn't have been so little progress. When she's driven out of the Saintly Virgin Palace, I'll send someone to interrogate her then. Vice Palace Master Lu, in that case, I'll take my leave first. I still have to plan carefully when I go back. It's better to be safe than sorry. Jing Mama, send Miss Chu back to the Saintly Virgin Palace." "Yes." Yun Chujio followed Jing Mama out of the courtyard. Yun Chujio said with a smile, "Jing Mama, do you have something to say to me? Miss Chu, this old servant has really underestimated you. However, this old servant still has to give you a piece of advice. It's fine if you do your best to work for Vice Palace Master Lu. If you have any thoughts that you shouldn't have, Vice Palace Master Liu's thunderous anger is not something you can bear." Yun Chujio sighed. "Zheng Mama, I'm an orphan girl with no background. What thoughts shouldn't I have? I just want to complete Vice Palace Master Liu's mission. If that's the case, it's naturally for the best. This old servant is just reminding you, Jing Mama said lightly. Then thank you for your reminder, Jing Mama. I will always remember my identity. After Yun Chuzhou returned to the dormitory of the Saintly Virgin Palace, she lay on the bed and sorted out her thoughts. Although there were some clues before, she really didn't expect that she was Vice Palace Master Liu's person. The beautiful mother was really easy to deceive. She had actually been deceived for so many years. How could she expose her? It was really quite troublesome. Yun Chuzhou thought for a long time but did not come up with any good ideas. This fellow had always been a big-hearted person. If she really could not think of anything, she might as well wash up and go to bed. The next morning, Yun Chuzhou woke up feeling refreshed. This fellow lay on the bed and continued to think of ways. Finally, his eyes lit up. He turned around and jumped up. After a simple wash-up, he went to see the saintess. When Yun Chuzhou arrived at the main hall, the saintess and Imama were chatting idly. When they saw Yun Chuzhou come in, Sheng Envi's eyes lit up. Imama said, "Miss Chuzhou, today is the 5th day. I wonder how the beautiful thing you said is going." "Ah. Don't mention it. I have overestimated myself too much. Yesterday, I tried to find a way to see that old bastard, Vice Palace Master Lu, but I got nothing," Yun Chuzhou sighed and said. "Humph. Miss Chu, are you lying to the saintess?" asked Sheng Envi. "Vice Palace Master Lu is now the king of Sheng Envi. Would you help the saintess to deal with Vice Palace Master Lu for the so-called justice? The reason you lied was to gain the saintess' trust, right?" "Saintess, this Lin Chu is full of lies. Please don't fall for her trick," said Imama angrily. Sheng Envi frowned. She looked at Yun Chuzhou. "Lin Chu, what Imama said is not without reason. I can't believe you just because you said something without saying anything. Come see me again when you finish your so-called beautiful task. You can go back now." Yun Chuzhou blinked her eyes and said, "Sheng Envi, just because we can't do business doesn't mean that I can't do it tomorrow." "Well, Mama, I haven't had breakfast yet. Hurry up and get me something to eat. I'm starving." Sheng Envi and Imama were speechless at Yun Chuzhou's ability to talk to herself. Sheng Envi's tone became even harsher. "Lin Chu, don't you understand what I'm saying? Come see me again when you've done the beautiful thing you said." "Sheng Envi, you really want to kick me out?" All right, I'll tell you the truth. Actually, I don't have the ability to do anything beautiful. I just want to stay with you a little longer." "I know. Because I can't get the mnemonic chant, Vice Palace Master Lu will chase me out of the Netherworld Palace sooner or later. He might even kill me. Before I die, I want to experience the feeling of having a mother again. SOB, since you don't like me, then I'll leave. I deserve to be the unlucky one who doesn't have a mother." Yun Chuzhou cried as she spoke. Her small shoulders trembled, as pitiful as she could be. Sheng Envi could not take it anymore. Although she knew that this little girl might have bad intentions, she still could not make up her mind. She sighed and said, "Forget it. If you're willing to stay, then stay. However, you don't need to dream about the mnemonic chant." Yun Chuzhou immediately smiled. "Sheng Envi, I just need to stay by your side. I'm not interested in the mnemonic chant." Imama curled her lips. "Miss Chuzhou, no one can beat your ability to lie through your teeth. Aren't you interested in mnemonics? Aren't you afraid of being struck by lightning?" Yun Chuzhou glanced at Imama. "Imama, are you brainless? Why don't you learn your lesson? What right do you, a servant, have to tell me what to do? Do you think you can make the decision of Sheng Envi? I want to chat with Sheng Envi. Get out of here right now, or don't blame me for being rude." Imama flew into a rage out of humiliation and glared at Yun Chuzhou. then, she said to Xing Envy, this Lin Chu is obviously up to no good. You can't indulge her like this anymore. Besides, she wants to chase me out in front of you. She doesn't care about you at all. You old woman, you're really annoying. What's wrong with me and Xing Envy having a few words alone? I'm puzzled. You follow Xing Envy like a follower all day long. Are you protecting Xing Envy or spying on Xing Envy? Yun Chujiu curled her lips and said. Suddenly, Mama was like a cat that stepped on its tail. She retorted loudly, You're talking nonsense. Xing Envy, this Lin Chu wants to sow discord between our master and servant. It's really too detestable. Yun Chujiu giggled and said, Hey, what are you so anxious for? I was just guessing. Why are you reacting so strongly? Don't tell me you really have something to hide. Why are your eyes so wide? Don't tell me you want to bite me. Xing Envy saw that the two of them were arguing more and more. She said coldly, All right. Xing Envy, you can go down first. I will talk to her for a while. Hearing the saintess words, a trace of indignation flashed in the eyes of Xing Envy, and she left the main hall after taking her leave. Yun Chujiu said with a volume that could be heard by Xing Envy, Saintess, you're really too wise. That old devout granny, Mama, clings to you all day long. She says that she's protecting you, but I think she might be one of Vice Palace Master Liu's people. This chapter is a preview. If you want to see a faster and more up-to-date chapter, please visit for more content. Mama's footsteps could not help but slow down. Then, she heard the saintess gold voice, Mama has followed me for many years and has always been loyal. She will never betray me. Lin Chu, if you still won't let go of Mama, you can go back. Xing Envy's voice was cold when Mama heard this, the corner of her mouth revealed a proud smile. Then, she turned around and left. Yun Chujiu ran to the door and looked out from the crack. Seeing that Mama had already gone far away, she jumped back to Xing Envy. Xing Envy looked at Yun Chujiu with a dumbfounded face, wondering what this Lin Chujiu was doing. Why did she look a little abnormal? Xing Envy, what I said just now is true. I once overheard Vice Palace Master Lu and Jing Mama's conversation and vaguely heard that there was a chess piece placed by your side. I think that Mama is the most suspicious. Yun Chujiu said mysteriously. Nonsense. When I was young, Mama had been serving me, not to mention that she had protected me many times. Xing Envy said unhappily. Yun Chujiu took out a small stool and sat next to Xing Envy's seat. She continued, Xing Envy, what I said is based on evidence. Think about it. She is like a follower all day long. She wants to be by your side all the time. Don't you think that she is spying on you? Think about it again. Is there anything that only you and she know, and Vice Palace Master Lu has exposed it? Xing Envy was stunned. She recalled some things. People were like that. If they didn't expose it, nothing could be seen. However, once they became suspicious, many details that they didn't pay attention to became flaws. The more she thought about it, the more suspicious it became. Is there a lot of suspicious things about that Mama? Yun Chujiu saw the change in Xing Envy's expression and had an idea. It seemed that this Mama had given herself away in the past, however, the beautiful mother did not pay attention to it. Maybe it's just a coincidence. There's no reason for Mama to betray me. Although Xing Envy was already suspicious, she still did not want to believe it. Xing Envy, once or twice is a coincidence, but this time it's not a coincidence. As for the reasons for betrayal, there are many. For example, threats, bribing, or maybe she has a lover, hee. Xing Envy's thoughts were immediately taken out of the play by Yun Chujiu's vulgar laughter, the corner of her eyes twitched. Although there are some suspicious points, we can't convict her based on mere suspicion. I will interrogate her, so you don't have to care. Xing Nv, interrogating is so troublesome. I have a good way to make her reveal herself. I guarantee that it will be done cleanly and beautifully. Yun Chuzhou said with a smile. What way? You just have to cooperate with me. In less than 5 days, this old pious woman will definitely reveal herself. Yun Chuzhou said confidently. Xing Nv frowned and thought for a while. Okay, I will cooperate with you. However, if you can't prove that Imama is under Vice Palace Master Lu within 5 days, then don't come to see me in the future. Yun Chuzhou said confidently, no problem. As long as you cooperate with me, I will definitely make that old fox reveal its true form. The two of them had finished their discussion and chatted for a while. After lunch, Yun Chuzhou accompanied the saintess to admire the flowers in the garden. After that, the saintess and the Xing Nv went to the garden. There were a few times when Imama wanted to speak, but she was interrupted by Yun Chuzhou. Imama gritted her teeth. She originally thought that Lin Chuzhou was just a gluttonous little girl who liked to play, but she didn't expect that she would be so difficult to deal with. Wasn't she also one of Vice Palace Master Liu's people? Why would she target her? What exactly was she planning? This chapter is a preview. If you want to see a faster and more up-to-date chapter, please visit for more content. It was not until sunset that Yun Chuzhou skipped dinner and left. Just as Nanny Yi was about to explain, Xing Nv said, I am very tired today. We can talk about it tomorrow. Xing Nv stood up and left the main hall. Imama's eyes flickered and she gritted her teeth and left. Xing Nv saw Yun Zhongqing. She told him everything. Husband, after Lin Chuchu said that, I really remembered a few things. Only the two of us and Imama knew about these things, but Lu Huanhua found out about them. Did Imama really betray me? Yun Zhongqing thought for a moment, then he said, according to what you said, Imama is indeed suspicious. No matter what motive Lin Chuchu had, it would be good if we could really prove that Imama was a traitor. After all, if Imama was really a traitor, it would be too dangerous for us. Xing Nv nodded. Husband, that Lin Chuchu has too many evil ideas. I can't see through this little girl now. I don't know which of her words are true and which are false. But, I just can't bear to treat her, sigh. I guess you saw that she was about the same age as Xiao Hanio, so you felt pity for her. Look at the outcome of the matter with Imama this time, and then we can discuss how to treat Lin Chuchu. Yun Zhongqing comforted her. After Yun Chuzhou hopped back to the dormitory, Xiao Hanio used his spiritual sense to ask, Master, how did you know that there was something wrong with Imama? Did she reveal any flaws? Yun Chuzhou giggled. I didn't find any flaws in her. I just felt that she was a little displeasing to the eye. Although she looked like a loyal saintess, there were a lot of things that she was a little over the top. One look and you could tell that she was restless. I was just testing that old bastard, Vice Palace Master Lu. I didn't expect him to say it himself. Master, if the Jin family hasn't replied, what do you plan to do? Of course it's to catch the head of the snake first. Find a way to capture that old bastard, Vice Palace Master Lu, and then think of a way to control his direct descendants. The rest of the matter will be easy to handle. Although Yun Chuzhou seemed to be fooling around these days, she had been thinking of countermeasures. The number of disguising pills was limited, and they could not be delayed forever. Moreover, there was no way to explain things to the Tian Yuan Academy even if they delayed for too long. Master, it's not that I want to pour cold water on you, but there are not many people in Xiao Hanio's inner circle. Although he has the help of the Old Man of Heaven Lake, his spiritual power has been reduced in the Netherworld continent. Can he control the situation? The little black bird asked worriedly. Yun Chuzhou smiled slyly. What are you afraid of? Aren't you Chi and the others? Do you think I have nothing better to do than play hide-and-seek with them? This is called emotional investment. Of course, you can also understand it as, simmer it slowly, boil the frog in warm water, and subtly influence it, Xiao Hanio, silent. The black-hearted master's brain was not a human's at all. I originally planned to play some tricks, but for the sake of his little life, he had better stop in the future. The next morning, after the saintess had breakfast, she came to the main hall. Mama was already waiting outside the main hall. Xing Nv was waiting for her in the main hall. Saintess, that Lin Chu obviously has bad intentions. She is trying to drive a wedge between our master and servant. My loyalty to you can be seen by the sun and the moon. You can't fall into her trap. Mama said with snot and tears. This chapter is a preview. If you want to see a faster and more up-to-date chapter, please visit for more content. I have my own judgment. You don't have to say any more. If the saintess had seen Mama like this in the past, she would have felt a little sorry, but perhaps it was because of psychological reasons. Now that she saw her like this, she only felt that it was very awkward to be pretentious. Seeing the saintess' cold attitude, Mama's heart tightened. Could it be that the saintess had already suspected her? No, it couldn't be. She had not revealed any flaws for so many years. How could she suspect her just based on Lin Chuch's words? She must have thought too much. Just as Mama was thinking about it, she heard a clear voice say, "Saintess, in here. Did you miss me?" Mama turned around and saw that it was Yun Chuzhou. She snorted coldly and said, "Miss Chuzhou, did you learn all those etiquette for nothing? You actually barged in without being notified by the maid. It's really beneath your dignity." Yun Chuzhou blinked her eyes and said, "Mama, you've wronged me." This was approved by Xing Nv. Xing Nv dotes on me and specially approved me to come in without being notified in the future. What? You're lying. This is impossible. Xing Nv, is what Lin Chu said true? Mama looked at Xing Nv in disbelief. Unexpectedly, Xing Nv nodded and said, "That's right. I think I have a good relationship with Chu, so I allowed her to come in directly without being notified in the future." Saintess, this Lin Chu harbors evil intentions toward you. How can you be so muddle-headed? Mama raised her voice. Mama, are you questioning me? Xing Nv said unhappily. I don't dare. I was just in a moment of impatience. Please forgive me, Saintess. Mama also noticed that her tone was a bit extreme, so she quickly knelt down to beg for forgiveness. Forget it. This is the only time. It won't happen again. Mama, although you've been with me for a long time, Chu is still my master. Pay attention to your attitude when you speak to her in the future. If you continue to insist on doing things your way, don't blame me for not remembering our old friendship. Go down and prepare breakfast for Chu. The saintess said coldly. Mama's old face was red. She stiffly said, "Yes," and then walked out of the main hall. Mama's face was very gloomy. Xing Nv, oh Xing Nv, you are too heartless. Although I have betrayed you a few times in the past, do you think you would still be alive if I hadn't meddled in the past few years? I didn't expect you to turn your back on me after hearing Lin Chuch's words of provocation. It's really chilling. Mama's expression changed a few times and she gritted her teeth. She would observe for a few more days. If Xing Nv still acted like this, then don't blame her for being ruthless. If one doesn't do for oneself, the heavens will destroy the earth. Not long after, Mama brought a maid to bring breakfast over. Yun Chuzhou ate happily. While eating, she said, "Saintess, I told you. The food here is still the best, Xing Nv." The saintess said gently, "Since it's good, then you should eat more. In the future, you can eat 3 meals a day at my place. That's great. Saintess, you're really too good to me. Seeing that Xing Envi and Yun Chujio were getting along well, the hatred in Mama's heart spread like poisonous weeds, and her expression became gloomy. Suddenly, she heard Yun Chujio say, Mama, why do you look so ugly? Don't tell me you don't want me to come here to freeload. Mama had to force a smile and said, Miss Chu Chu misunderstood. It's just that I'm not feeling well today. Oh, so you're not feeling well. Since you're not feeling well, don't just stand there. If you infect me in the Sheng Envi, we'll be in trouble. Yun Chujio said disdainfully. Mama's hands clenched together in her sleeves as she looked at the Sheng Envi. She thought that the Sheng Envi would definitely greet her with some concern. Unexpectedly, the Sheng Envi only said indifferently, what Chu Chu said makes sense. Since you're not feeling well, you should take the initiative to ask. If you infect Chu Chu, it won't be good. Go down. A trace of malice flashed across Mama's eyes. She tried her best to suppress the dissatisfaction in her heart. Yes, I will take my leave. After Mama left, Sheng Envi frowned. Lin Chu Chu, did we wrongly accuse Mama? Sheng Envi, you should call me Chu Chu. How strange it is to call me by my first and last name. Didn't you call me very affectionately just now? As for whether I was wrongly accused or not, we will know very soon. Yun Chujio said with a smile. Sheng Envi sighed silently. Although she had found many suspicious points, she still did not want to believe that Mama would betray her. If even Mama could not be trusted, who could be trusted? For a few days in a row, Yun Chujio came to Sheng Envi's place to freeload. She stayed with Sheng Envi every day, and Sheng Envi was often amused by her laughter. On the contrary, the Sheng Envi's attitude towards Mama became colder and colder. She didn't even talk much. This morning, Yun Chujio didn't come to the Sheng Envi for free meals like she did a few days ago. She only came in the afternoon. However, she looked very lonely and her eyes were a little red. Chu Chu, what happened? Did someone bully you? Tell me, I will make the decision for you, the Sheng Envi asked with concern. Yun Chujio burst into tears. Sheng Envi, I am leaving you. Vice Palace Master Lu gave me 2 days to obtain the chant to summon the Netherworld Shrine. If not, he would kick me out of the Netherworld Shrine. He might even kill me in secret. Sheng Envi, I don't want to die. Sheng Envi frowned and sighed. Chu Chu, I don't want you to die either. But the chant to summon the Netherworld Shrine is extraordinary. I can't teach it to you. I know. How could I put you in danger for my own safety? I'll just die. I've been happy these days anyway. I'm content. Yun Chujio said with a strong voice. The Saintess and Yun Chujio didn't speak for a long time. Mama couldn't help but gloat in her heart. She deserved it. Lin Chu Chu was finally going to jump to the end. When Lin Chu Chu was driven out, the Saintess would value her again. In the Saintess Palace, she was still the second most powerful person. Suddenly, the Saintess sighed. Chu Chu, you always have the most evil ideas. Don't you have any flexible ideas? I really can't bear to part with you. Yun Chujio touched her chin and thought for a while. Then, she slapped her thigh. Saintess, can anyone use that chant to summon the Netherworld Shrine? This has never been tried before. I don't know if everyone can successfully summon it. Yun Chujio's eyes lit up. That's easy. Why don't you tell me the chant, and I'll modify it a few times before handing it over to Vice Palace Master Lu. If that old bastard Vice Palace Master Lu doesn't believe me, I'll show him once. Then, I'll use the real chant to summon the Netherworld Shrine. If he can't summon it, I'll say that only those who are acknowledged by the Netherworld Spirit will be able to succeed. In that case, Vice Palace Master Lu will definitely find someone else to test it out. Then, we'll be able to stall for some time. Who knows, we might be able to think of another way. This chapter is a preview. If you want to see a faster and more up-to-date chapter, please visit for more content. When the saintess heard Yun Chuzhou say this, she did not say anything for a long time. It was obvious that she was a little conflicted. Imama hurriedly said, "Saintess, there are some things that I don't know whether to say or not. If you don't know whether to say or not, then don't say it. Can't you see that the saintess and I are discussing a big matter? Don't you know how to avoid it? Do you really take yourself seriously?" Yun Chuzhou berated Xing Envi unhappily. It was not easy for Imama to hold back the urge to fly into a rage. She said to Xing Envi, the mnemonic chant is of great importance. You must not hand it over to Lin Chuchu. Once she has ulterior motives and hands the mnemonic chant to Vice Palace Master Lu, your and young master's lives will be lost. When Xing Envi heard what Imama said, her heart could not help but waver again. Imama was doing this for her sake. Could she really have wronged her? Yun Chuzhou was afraid that Xing Envi would be deceived by Imama's acting skills. She quickly said, "Saintess, am I such an ungrateful person? I, Lin Chuchu, swear to the heavens that if I give the mnemonic to Vice Palace Master Lu, I will be struck by lightning and die a horrible death." Xing Envi and Imama were stunned. Xing Envi came back to her senses and coldly said to Imama, "Chuchu has already made a poison vow, so she naturally won't lie to me. You can go out. I want to teach Chuchu the mnemonic, so it's not convenient for outsiders to be present." Imama was also confused by Yun Chuzhou's sudden vow. She really could not understand why Yun Chuzhou would make a vow. When she saw Xing Envi's firm attitude, she could only leave the main hall with dissatisfaction. However, Imama did not go far after she left the main hall. Instead, she stood by the door and looked inside through the crack. "Chu-chu, this chant is very complicated. I don't think you will be able to remember it in a short time. I will write it on a piece of paper for you. After you memorize it, you must destroy the chant, understand? Don't worry, saintess. I know this is an important matter. I'll recite it diligently when I get back to the dormitory. After I've memorized it, I'll destroy the chant and copy a fake copy. That's not right. Your dormitory is too unsafe. You can recite it here. After you've memorized it, destroy the chant and return to the dormitory. That's fine too. I'll listen to you, saintess. I'll recite it here." The saintess picked up a pen and wrote a page full of paper, handing it to Yun Chuzhou. "This is the chant to summon the Netherworld Shrine. This is a page that concerns my life and death. Don't let anyone else see it except for you, understand? Don't worry, saintess. I'll start reciting it now. Don't leave either. Stay with me. I'll feel more at ease." Yun Chuzhou said, "All right. I have nothing to do anyway. I'll just stay with you." Hence, Xing Envi took out a book from her storage ring and flipped through it. Yun Chuzhou sat at the side, shaking her head and reciting the mnemonic chant silently. Imama gnashed her teeth in hatred. She had been hiding by Xing Envi's side for so many years, but she had not been able to obtain the mnemonic chant to summon the Netherworld Shrine. She had not expected Lin Chuchu to obtain the mnemonic chant in just a few days. No, she could not let this Lin Chuchu succeed. If she could memorize the chant, she would definitely look for Vice Palace Master Lu to claim credit. Although she had sworn an oath, she had many wicked ideas. She might have some other way. For example, she would tell the chant to a third person, and then the third person would relay it to Vice Palace Master Lu. If this Lin Chuchu really became the saintess, she would definitely torture her to death. Instead of letting her claim credit, it would be better for her to obtain the chant and look for Vice Palace Master Lu. That way, she would have the upper hand. Yes, let's do it. This chapter is a preview. If you want to see a faster and more up-to-date chapter, please visit for more content. Mama's mind spun a few times. If she wanted to get the mnemonic, she had to think of a way to get Xing Envy away and then find a way to get it from Lin Chu. Just as Mama was racking her brain for a way, Xing Envy suddenly said, Chu, I just remembered something. I'll be leaving for a while. You have to memorize it and never leave the main hall. Do you hear me? Saintess, don't worry. Although I'm naughty, I know this is a big deal. I won't act rashly. You go. Yun Chujio said confidently. The Saintess instructed Xing Envy a few more times before she left. Mama quickly jumped onto the roof and carefully restrained her aura. When the Saintess arrived at the entrance of the main hall, she paused for a moment. Mama was so nervous that cold sweat broke out on her forehead. Fortunately, the Saintess left after a brief pause. Mama saw that the Saintess had gone far away, so she jumped down from the roof and peeked through the crack of the door. She saw that Lin Chu was seriously reciting the chant inside Xing Envy. Mama gritted her teeth. Victory or defeat depended on this move. This Lin Chu was only at the 8th layer of the spirit sect. It would be effortless to take her down. She had to get the chant first. Thinking of this, Mama pushed the door open and walked in. When Yun Chujio saw Mama, she couldn't help but be a little stunned. Mama, what are you doing here? Didn't I tell you not to come in? Miss Chu, the Saintess was worried that it would be too dangerous for you to recite the chant here alone, so she sent this servant to protect you, said Mama with a smile. Is that so? The Saintess is really good to me. But this chant is not for everyone to read. Stay away from me. Yun Chujio waved the piece of paper in her hand and said proudly. Mama's lowered eyes flashed with ruthlessness. Yes, Miss Chu, just recite it in peace. I will stay away from you. As expected, after Mama finished speaking, she stood about 10 meters away from Yun Chujio. Only then did Yun Chujio lower her head and continue to recite. Just as Yun Chujio was diligently reciting, she felt a gust of cold wind blow at her. She hurriedly retreated and avoided it, but the paper in her hand was also snatched away by someone. Mama, what are you doing? Yun Chujio looked at Mama in surprise. Mama kept the paper in her hand into her storage ring. She sneered, what am I doing? Of course, she was going to ask for credit from Vice Palace Master Lu with this mnemonic. Lin Chujio, let's not beat around the bush. Although you and I are both Vice Palace Master Liu's people, you should never go against me. So this credit is mine. And you, just wait to be kicked out of the Netherworld Hall. You're shameless. I was the one who got it. I will tell Vice Palace Master Lu the truth. I don't believe that Vice Palace Master Lu will believe you without any reason. Yun Chujio said angrily, her eyes were red with anger. Seeing Yun Chujio like this, Mama became even more proud. Do you think Vice Palace Master Lu believes you or me? I have endured humiliation and hid for more than 10 years. You are just a little girl who has just entered the palace. You're simply too despicable. Well, see. Vice Palace Master Lu will definitely punish you. Yun Chujio was so angry that she stomped her feet. Mama looked at her with contempt. You really don't understand Vice Palace Master Lu. Vice Palace Master Lu is the most realistic. He's only good to people who have value to him. Once there's no value to him, he'll kill you. This is also the reason why I've stayed by the Saintess side for so long. If you hadn't come out halfway, I wouldn't have made a move. Xing Envy looked at Mama with disdain. Lin Chu, I'm going to see Vice Palace Master Lu right now. Just wait for your death. Ha ha ha. Imama felt that all the frustration she had been feeling for the past few days had been swept away, and her heart was filled with joy. I'm going to fight it out with you. Yun Chujio rushed up and was about to fight it out with Imama. A hint of contempt flashed across Imama's eyes, and she easily dodged Yun Chujio's attack. She said arrogantly, "Lin Chu, you better be sensible. Your weak kung fu is no match for me. If you force me, I will kill you directly." Yun Chujio took a few steps back in disbelief. You dare? Why wouldn't I dare? You are just a useless chess piece." After saying that, Mama walked towards the door. To her surprise, she didn't even take a few steps when the door opened and Xing Envy walked in. Imama didn't expect Xing Envy to come back so soon, and she was stunned for a moment. Cold sweat broke out on her forehead, and she suddenly had an idea. She said loudly, "Xing Envy, you came at the right time. This Lin Chu just wanted to go out with the mnemonic chant. Apparently, he wanted to give it to Vice Palace Master Lu, so I snatched the mnemonic chant." The Saintess suddenly laughed, and Imama couldn't help but be stunned. "Saintess, what are you laughing at?" "Imama, I think I treat you well. Why did you betray me? What benefits did Lu Huanhua give you?" The Saintess sighed and asked faintly. "Saintess, what do you mean? I have always been loyal to you. You can't wrong me just because of Lin Chuchi's instigation." Although Imama said so, Xing Envy's eyes were still looking for the best time to escape. Xing Envy's eyes were looking for the best opportunity to escape. Since the mnemonic chant had already been obtained, the Saintess wouldn't live long, so there was nothing to be afraid of. "Imama, I heard what you said just now. Do you still want to continue to quibble? I really didn't expect you to be Lu Wanhua's man. Why on earth did you rely on him?" Seeing that the matter had been exposed, Mama didn't hide it anymore. She sneered and said, "Why? Back then, you just walked away. Have you ever thought about the situation of us servants? I just wanted to live. If I didn't join Vice Palace Master Lu, do you think I could live to this day?" The Saintess smiled bitterly and said, "In that case, it's my fault. I'm not in the mood to argue with you. Since you're Lu Wanhua's man, I can't accommodate you here. You should go." Xing Envy said. Imama couldn't believe her ears. You're not going to kill me. So what if I kill you? You can leave." Xing Envy said lightly. Although Imama couldn't figure out why Xing Envy did this, she thought of using the mnemonic chant in exchange for a meteoric rise. Without any hesitation, she rushed to the main door of the main hall. Xing Envy said faintly behind her, "Mama, the mnemonic chant is fake." Imama's footsteps came to a sudden stop. Her head buzzed and her mind went blank. Was this a trap? A trap to lure her out? "Imama, I once said that I wanted to do a beautiful thing. What do you think of me luring you into the trap, or should I call it self-admission?" Yun Chujio said with a smile. Imama turned around, she gnashed her teeth and said, "You guys are too despicable. Xing Envy, I have betrayed you a few times, but if it weren't for me, you would have died a long time ago. Don't you feel guilty for treating me like this?" This chapter is a preview. If you want to see a faster and more up-to-date chapter, please visit for more content. Xing Envy said indifferently, "Imama, I gave you a chance. It was you who didn't grasp it. If you had given up on betraying me when I asked you to leave, I would have let bygones be bygones on account of our master-servant relationship. Unfortunately, you didn't hesitate to betray me for your own benefit. Therefore, you brought this upon yourself." "I brought this upon myself." Xing Envy, you are ruthless. Let's wait and see. At this point, Imama was about to leave. Unexpectedly, Imama's feet suddenly staggered, and then Yun Chujio jumped over and threw a fireball at her. Imama's first reason was that her feet were unstable, and secondly, she was completely unprepared. Therefore, she was hit by Yun Chujia's fireball. She quickly rolled on the ground to extinguish the fireball, and Yun Chujio shot out a few more fireballs. Xing Nv, what are you still standing there for? Why aren't you making a move? The Xing Nv only reacted when she heard Yun Chujia's shout. She raised her hand, and a crane materialized from spiritual power pounced on Imama. Although Imama was a spirit paragon, she could not withstand the combined efforts of Yun Chujio and the Xing Nv. In less than 15 minutes, she was burned into ashes by Yun Chujia's fireball. Xing Nv was still in a daze. Chu, although this Imama deserved to die, we killed her. What if Lu Huanhua did it for you? Don't worry, I have an excuse to deal with him. Xing Nv, get someone to clean up the main hall. I'll go see Vice Palace Master Lu, Yun Chujio said indifferently. Xing Nv could tell that Yun Chujio had an idea after this incident, so she didn't say much. She just told Yun Chujio to be careful. Yun Chujio walked out of the main hall, took out the sound transmission talisman, and gave it to Jing Mama. Jing Mama found an excuse to take Yun Chujio out of the Saintly Virgin Palace. Yun Chujio followed Jing Mama to see Vice Palace Master Lu and said directly, Vice Palace Master Lu, I have made a big mistake. Please punish me. Vice Palace Master Lu was stunned. Miss Chu, why do you say that? I heard that you and the Saintess have been getting along very well recently. What crime did you commit? Vice Palace Master Lu, in order to gain the Saintess' trust, I was going to drag out Xing Nv, but unexpectedly, she was so angry that she wanted to kill the Saintess. I had no choice but to help the Saintess kill Xing Nv. I made the decision without permission. Please punish me. Yun Chujio looked guilty. Vice Palace Master Lu was stunned at first, then, he laughed out loud. Good kill. Good kill. Miss Chu, you did the right thing. This time, you helped the Saintess kill Imama. The Saintess will definitely trust you more. It won't be long before you can get the mnemonic chant. As for that Imama, she dared to deceive me for her own selfish interests. She deserved to die. Yun Chujio's eyes widened in surprise. Vice Palace Master Lu. I don't even know what to say. You are really too lenient. Don't worry, I promise you that I will be able to obtain the chant to summon the Netherworld Shrine in no more than a month. If I can't do it, it'll be at your disposal. Miss Chu is indeed a straightforward person. Good, then I'll wait for your good news. Jing Mama, send Miss Chu back to the Saintly Virgin Palace. In the future, if Miss Chu has any requests, feel free to fulfill them. Vice Palace Master Lu thought about how his long-cherished wish was about to be fulfilled, his heart was very happy. Jing Mama wanted to remind Vice Palace Master Lu a few words, but when she thought about how Vice Palace Master Lu was getting more and more obstinate, she held back her temper. This chapter is a preview. If you want to see a faster and more up-to-date chapter, please visit for more content. Miss Chujia's methods are really amazing. This servant is really impressed. Although Jing Mama said it nicely, the tone of her voice was more mocking. If it was an ordinary person, they would definitely feel uncomfortable listening to it. However, Yun Chujio said with a smile on her face, oh my, Jing Mama is really flattering me. I am just average. I will continue to work hard. Jing Mama's face stiffened as she said coldly, Miss Chujio, you better focus on the chant to summon the Netherworld Shrine. If Vice Palace Master Lu finds out that you are playing tricks, the consequences will not be something you can bear. Yun Chujio was still smiling as she said, what Jing Mama reminded me is that I will definitely try my best to get the chant as soon as possible. Jing Mama could not let go of the anger in her heart. Although Yun Chujio was smiling, she could feel the perfunctory intention in it, but she could not find any fault with it. Jing Mama gritted her teeth and said with a fake smile, in that case, this servant will wait for Miss Chujia's good news. A month's time is neither long nor short. As long as Miss Chujio knows it well. Don't worry, I know what to do. I will definitely succeed within a month. Yun Chujio said confidently. Jing Mama saw that Yun Chujio did not hold back, so she did not say anything more. After sending Yun Chujio into the Saintly Virgin Palace, she turned around and left. Yun Chujio curled her lips. Little girl, you still dare to threaten me? In a month's time, I will make you and your master die. Aya, the spy on the beautiful mother has been removed, and we will be able to recognize each other soon. It's wonderful just thinking about it. I, Yun Chujio, also have a father and mother. Yun Chujio hopped to the main hall, but the saintess was not in the main hall. Yun Chujio tried to probe the two maids on duty, but they did not know that Mama was already dead. The saintess was not in the main hall, but the saintess was not in the main hall. Yun Chujio tried to probe the two maids on duty, but they did not know that Mama was dead. Yun Chujio blinked her eyes and had an idea in her mind. She hopped to find the hiding place of the secret guards. The secret guards were wondering why Lin Chujio did not come to find trouble today. They felt that they were lacking something if Yun Chujio did not find them every day. It had to be said that after Yun Chujio found trouble for so many days, their hidden skills had obviously improved. However, the Saintly Virgin Palace was limited in space after all. Yun Chujio could find them with a little effort. Therefore, Yun Chujio quickly pulled Yu Qi and the other three out. Not bad. Your improvement is still very obvious. Yun Chujio said with a smile. Yu Qi could not help but smile bitterly. Miss Chu Chu, if we had really improved, we would not have been found by you so quickly. Sigh, if you think that way, you are making things difficult for yourself. Haven't you heard of a saying? No matter how cunning a fox is, it can't beat a good hunter, so you can't beat me at all. Yu Qi and the other five. Yu Qi decided to change the topic, so he asked, Miss Chujio, did you just come back from the main hall? Yun Chujio looked around and said mysteriously, something big happened. Yu Qi and the others immediately came in nervously. Miss Chujio, what happened? Yun Chujio hesitated for a moment and then gritted her teeth. Alright, we are on the same side. I'll tell you guys. Mama is dead. Yu Qi and the others were shocked. How is this possible? Isn't Mama a confidant of Xing Envi? She usually stays by Xing Envi's side. How could she die? Yun Chujio stretched her neck and looked around again. She lowered her voice and said, that Mama is one of Vice Palace Master Liu's men. I don't know how she was discovered by the saintess. The saintess was very angry and angrily scolded that Mama would be punished by the netherworld spirit like this. Who would have thought that Mama would turn into ashes? Don't you think it strange? Yu Qi asked incredulously, what? Directly turned into flying ash. How is this possible? Yun Chujio looked around again and said mysteriously, I saw it with my own eyes. After the saintess said those words, that Mama was hit by something, and then her body turned into ashes. Do you think the spirits of the dead don't like people who betray their masters? Although Vice Palace Master Lu holds great power now, the saintess is the true master of the Netherworld Palace. Will Vice Palace Master Lu also suffer retribution? Xing Envi asked Yu Qi, and the other three could not help but feel a chill down their spines. Miss Chu Chu, could it be that the saintess used some kind of secret method? At that time, I deliberately looked at the saintess' expression. She seemed to be very surprised as well. She didn't say anything for a long time. Think about it, if she had such a method, wouldn't she have killed Vice Palace Master Lu long ago? Xing Envi asked. I reckon that the spirit of the netherworld was probably too lazy to care about these secular matters a few years ago. Now, seeing that Vice Palace Master Lu is becoming more and more outrageous, she made a move. I'm still very scared. Fortunately, I have a good relationship with the Saintess these few days and I don't have any bad intentions. Otherwise, I would probably have been killed too. Yun Chuzhou shivered and said with an expression of lingering fear. Yu Qi and the other three were still somewhat skeptical. Yun Chuzhou said, "Of course, it's also possible that this matter is just a coincidence. However, I don't dare to go against the Saintess. If she takes the initiative to give me the Sheng Nv, I will become the Saintess. If she doesn't want the Sheng Nv, I will leave the Netherworld Hall." Yu Qi hesitated for a moment and then said, "Miss Chuzhou, I'm afraid that you can't make the decision yourself. Vice Palace Master Lu obviously wants you to replace him. How can he let you leave the Netherworld Hall safely?" Yun Chujia's eyes reddened, tears fell down her cheeks. "I know that even if I become the saint, I'll still die. Even if I don't become the saint, I'll still die. Since that's the case, I might as well leave a good reputation. 17 years later, I'll still be a peerless beauty." Yu Qi and the other three. "Miss Chu, at this time, you still haven't forgotten to brag about yourself?" There was no one else who could be so narcissistic. Yun Chuzhou continued, "I'm telling you, people like Vice Palace Master Lu will be despised sooner or later. Since the spirit of the Netherworld can attack once, it can attack twice. Perhaps one day, Vice Palace Master Lu will be burned to ashes. You guys should think of a way out as soon as possible." Yu Qi and the other three were in a mess and didn't know what to say. Yun Chuzhou sighed, "You guys can discuss it slowly. I'm going to die soon. I'm going to enjoy myself. Oh right, this is not a small matter. I'm not someone you trust. Don't tell anyone. Even if you do, don't tell anyone about me. Otherwise, I will definitely die. Miss Chuzhou, don't worry. We will not betray you. You have to be open-minded. There will always be a solution. Thank you very much. The righteous path of the human world is full of vicissitudes. A good person like me will definitely live for a very, very long time. I will go and find the others. See you later." Yun Chuzhou wiped the crocodile's tears with her sleeve and left. This chapter is a preview. If you want to see a faster and more up-to-date chapter, please visit for more content. Yu Qi and the others looked at Yun Chujia's back and looked at each other. "Do you think what she said is true?" "It's most likely true. Lin Chu wouldn't lie about something as big as Mama's death. Moreover, Mama's spiritual power isn't low. If they were to fight, it wouldn't end so quickly. However, we didn't hear any news at all. This means that she died very quickly. Maybe the Netherworld spirit really did it. Now that you mention it, it does make sense. Could it be that the Netherworld spirit really doesn't like what Vice Palace Master Lu has done? It's not impossible. Not only did Vice Palace Master Lu take over the Saintess, but he has also repeatedly invaded the Tianyuan continent over the years. That's why the Netherworld spirit was angered." Sheng Nv said, "Then what should we do? If the Netherworld spirit thinks that we are Vice Palace Master Liu's accomplices, it would be terrible if he punishes us." The more the five of them discussed, the more they felt that what Yun Chuzhou said was true. In the end, they decided to find someone else to discuss it with. At most, they would not mention that it was Lin Chuzhou who said it. On the other side, Xiao Hanio was conducting another routine interview. "Master, can they believe what you said? What you said is too ridiculous. TCH. You don't understand, do you? Although what I said was a little ridiculous, those guards who worked for Vice Palace Master Lu had always felt a little guilty. Moreover, they were dissatisfied with Vice Palace Master Lu, so they would subconsciously believe what I said. If they don't believe me, we will just wait and see," Yun Chuzhou said slyly. "Master, then what's your purpose in doing this? Is it to make them afraid?" Xiao Hanio still didn't understand. Silly bird. This is called creating momentum. I deliberately let them only tell the people they trust, but this person can't control his own mouth. Moreover, every time they spread the word, they would add some of their own ideas. Very soon, many guards would panic. When the time comes, they'll think of a way to appease master. TSK, Xiao He, tell me, why is your master so smart? I almost admire myself. Yun Chuzhou said rather smugly. Although Xiao Hanio was scolded as a silly bird, he had to admire his own black-hearted master. He played like a fish in water under the eyes of Vice Palace Master Lu. What was this called again? Yes, spy within spy, trap within trap. Yun Chuzhou was a little excited when she thought that she would be able to recognize her family the next day. It took her a long time to fall asleep. Early in the morning the next day, Yun Chuzhou hopped into the main hall. Needless to say, the saintess really came. After she went back yesterday, she discussed with Yun Zhongqing for a long time. She wasn't sure whether Yun Chuzhou belonged to Vice Palace Master Lu or not. So this morning, she was ready to hear what Yun Chuzhou had to say. Xing Nv, I'm here. It's like 3 years since we last saw each other. Did you miss me? Yun Chuzhou jumped into the main hall and said cheerfully. Xing Nv was full of worries, but seeing Yun Chuzhou's cheerful look, she couldn't help but feel relaxed. She smiled and said, have you had breakfast? I haven't eaten. Only when I see you can I eat well. Hee. Yun Chuzhou shamelessly sat next to Xing Nv with a small stool and acted cute. Xing Nv really cannot stand the appearance of Yun Chuzhou acting cute, quickly told the maid to Yun Chuzhou prepared breakfast. Soon, breakfast on the table, Yun Chuzhou giggled to those maids said, you all go down, someone watching me, I cannot eat. Those handmaidenside corners fiercely twitch the beginning young lady, you say this words do not have a guilty conscience. Every day we serve you here and you wish you could lick the plate. Is this called not eating? You may leave. Don't let anyone in without being notified. Don't disturb Chushu's breakfast. Xing Nv knew that Yun Chuzhou wanted to talk to her about something, so she ordered. Yes. The maids all left and closed the door of the main hall. Yun Chuzhou ate a few mouthfuls randomly and then ran to the door. She made a big red cloth to cover the gap of the door. Xing Nv was confused. What was Lin Chuzhou doing? After Yun Chuzhou came back, she took out the isolation array from her storage ring. After opening it, she said with a smile, Xing Nv, are you satisfied with the beautiful thing I did yesterday? Chu, although you helped me get rid of Mama, I can only trust you 70%. I cannot give you the chant to summon the Netherworld Shrine, Xing Nv said and stared at Yun Chuzhou, wanting to see her reaction. Unexpectedly, Yun Chuzhou giggled. I'm not interested in that stupid chant. I only want you, Saintess. The Saintess was dumbfounded. You want me? What do you mean? Xing Nv asked. Yun Chuzhou plopped to the ground and knelt. Her eyes turned red. Mother. I'm your little Jill. The Saintess suddenly stood up from the chair and slowly sat back down, a cold smile appeared on her face. Lin Chuzhou, what kind of trick are you playing? Is this Lu Wanhua's new idea? What did you do to little Jill? Yun Chuzhou wiped her tears with her sleeve. Mother, I'm really your little Jill. I took a disguise pill, so my appearance has become like this. If you don't believe me, they'll show you a bolt of lightning. After saying that, Yun Chuzhou waved her hand to the side, and a bolt of purple lightning struck a chair, and the chair instantly turned into ashes. The Saintess was slightly trembling, but she still said coldly, Lu Huanhua really went to a lot of trouble to find you, who also has a heavenly thunder spirit root, to deceive me. I won't believe you. Yun Chuzhou took out a jade pendant from her storage ring. Mother, you should know this, right? After you and father went missing back then, grandfather finally found this jade pendant with great difficulty. He said that father brought it with him. Xing Envy took the jade pendant with trembling hands. Although she believed it in her heart, she still hesitated. Are you really Xiaojiu? No, that's impossible. Xiaojiu is far away in the Tianyuan continent. How could she come here? Mother, I caught a seed when I caught Zhou. You have been teasing me with this matter ever since. Also, when I was young, I loved to eat the 7-colored cake you made for me. But you were afraid that my teeth would hurt, so you only let me eat one when I performed well. I remember all this. When the Xing Envy heard this, she almost pounced on Yun Chuzhou and said with a trembling voice, Little Zhou? Are you really my little Zhou? Am I dreaming? Mom, little Zhou came to save you. Little Zhou is useless. I came late and made you and Dad suffer for a few more years. Little Zhou will definitely be filial to you in the future. When the Xing Envy heard Yun Chuzhou say this, she hugged Yun Chuzhou and cried. She cried so hard that she almost fainted. Silly child, mother is useless. All these years, mother has been thinking about you day and night. She has been thinking about whether you will be bullied, whether you will starve or freeze. Mother's heart is almost broken. Yun Chujia's heart was sour and sweet. Was this motherly love? Yun Chuzhou saw that Xing Envy was crying very sadly and was afraid that she would break down from crying. She broke out into a smile and said, Mother, can you take off your mask? I want to see if you are really my mother. Xing Envy glared at her and took off the mask on her face. Yun Chuzhou immediately exclaimed, Mother, why do you look so good? You are simply not human. Xing Envy's face stiffened. Was this child happy? Why did he scold her for not being human? You're like a fairy descending to the mortal world. Mother, although I think I'm pretty good looking, compared to you, I'm like heaven and earth. No wonder my father lured you back home. Yun Chuzhou said with a smile. Xing Envy scolded with a smile, What nonsense are you talking about? You're already so old, you can't even speak properly. After Yun Chujia's banter, Xing Envy's emotions calmed down a little, then, she wiped her tears and asked, Little Zhou, how did you come to the Netherworld continent? You're too bold. Lu Huanhua hates you to the bone. If he finds out, your life will be in danger. Yun Chuzhou then briefly told Xing Envy what had happened. Xing Envy was stunned and felt that her brain was not enough. Little Zhou had single-handedly infiltrated the Netherworld Palace, and then passed through all the obstacles to become the final successor of Xing Envy. And she had even fooled Lu Huanhua. She had casually uncovered Mama, who had been hiding by my side for many years. Beautiful mother, although I've fooled Vice Palace Master Lu for the time being, there's no guarantee that he'll react in time. Therefore, we have to find a feasible way to kill him as soon as possible. Little Zhou, your mother's mind is in a mess right now. You're smart, so you'll do whatever you say. Xing Envy felt that her little Zhou was simply too powerful. Mother, the most important thing for us to do now is to join forces. I've contacted the Jin family previously, but they haven't replied to me. I'm afraid that they might not be able to help us. I've invested in the secret guards of the Saintly Virgin Palace. I've also started to build up the momentum. When the time comes, there should be some people who can help us. But, even if we add in those spies of your son-in-law, our strength is still very weak. So, we must plan carefully and hit the target with one strike. Yun Chuzhou said. The holy maiden's mind was attracted by the words, your son-in-law. She asked in surprise, Xing Envy, you and that Di Baiming are already married? No. Then why did you say that he is my son-in-law? What else can I say? I can't say that I'm good with him, right? Yun Chuzhou blinked her eyes and asked. Xing Envy. Mother, your focus is off. Our priority now is to find a way to kill that old bastard, Vice Palace Master Lu. As for your son-in-law's problem, we can talk about it later. The Saintess nodded. Xing NV, before we take care of Vice Palace Master Lu, there's one more thing to solve, and that's your father's cold poison. Lu Huanhua, that bastard, used the power of the netherworld to hurt your father in order to blackmail me. Your father needs to take the pills provided by Lu Huanhua regularly, otherwise, the cold poison will take effect and he'll lose his life. Yun Chuzhou said with a smile, cold poison? Mother, don't worry. The cold poison is just a piece of cake for me. I promise to get rid of it. Xing NV frowned. Nonsense. The cold poison was very overbearing. It could only be resolved if one could cultivate the power of the netherworld or take a special pill to slowly remove it. However, the spiritual herbs needed for that kind of pill were very scarce. How could you cure it? This chapter is a preview. If you want to see a faster and more up-to-date chapter, please visit for more content. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.